I met a girl who's a streamer. I went up to her, I hugged her, and I my pants.
I'm sorry, come again? Wait, no, don't do that. Guys, I gotta admit, I overshare sometimes. Like the other day, I took a massive trauma dump on my friend. That's how you use that phrase, right? Anyway, so as I was taking a steaming hot trauma dump on my friend's chest, I thought to myself, wait a minute, he doesn't need to know this. And that's a realization I wish more people had, because nowadays, it seems like everyone on the internet is oversharing.
We were married and suddenly everything collapsed. I fell in love with another man and Jacob was secretly seeing escorts.
Good morning, my name is and I would like to tell you guys the story time of how I got herpes.
There was a Brazilian chick that licked my and then made out with me right after, and I swear,
I'm not gonna lie, I've done that before.
Dude, why do people do this to themselves? Oversharing is just gossiping about yourself. But for some reason, it seems like it's more popular than ever. I mean, there's even this new trend where you can literally pay someone to just sit down and hear you overshare personal information for hours. I think they're calling it like therapy or something? Anyway, in this video, I'ma react to people on the internet sharing things they really should have just kept to themselves. And these clips range anywhere from weird and awkward all the way to straight up criminal.
We listen and we don't judge. When I was younger, I shoved a hot dog up my and put it right back in the fridge.
We need to get rid of the First Amendment. Honestly, dude. Man, Helen Keller was not missing out. Is there a tax on keeping secrets? God, I have so many questions like, why would you do this? Why would you admit to it? And why would you put the hot dog back in the fridge? Were you beefing with someone? Look, I get it, sir. Sometimes we get lonely, but at least throw it away after, or clean it and put it in some Tupperware with a label on it. You know, be courteous. I mean, you don't want some poor soul actually eating that, do you? Man, this tastes like shit. I'm curious, what is the best kind of hot dog to use for this? Classic jumbo Franks? Ballpark bun size Franks? A guy named Frank? I mean, I'm not actually gonna do it. I'm just asking for me. Man, all this talk about hot dogs is making me hungry. So let's check out this chef's pasta recipe, which I'm hoping tastes better than it looks.
And we just want to stir it up. Stirring spaghetti can be a very relaxing situation. I remember when I was a kid growing up, my friend Justin and I wanted to make a roller coaster, so we started saving money by putting our lunch money in a shoebox. And after about 6 months, we had a couple $100 in there, but it turns out that my friend Justin's sister's boyfriend had found the shoebox and he stole the money to pay for an abortion. Okay, this is looking just about ready.
Jeez, this isn't even awkward, it's just kinda sad. I mean, he even said that cooking pasta is relaxing, and this is the first thing that came to mind. Clearly, the dude hasn't gotten over what happened years ago. He's looking into that pot like he wishes it was the boyfriend in that boiling water. I feel bad for him. Like, why would the sister's boyfriend do this to you guys? Did you feed him this pasta? I mean, I don't really blame the boyfriend. Abortions are pretty expensive. I paid for 5 already. None of them were for me. I just like giving back to the community. Also, I cannot imagine this guy riding a roller coaster. He doesn't seem like he'd get excited for anything. He seems more like the guy that'd be taking the tickets. What? I'm sorry. I'm just calling it as it is. The dude seems like a complete downer. Even his pasta looks depressed. Okay, maybe this next clip is a little more exciting.
Approximately 5 months after I admitted to my wife that I had an affair with another man and that I am gay, the time for the birth of our daughter was finally here.
Who is this video for? You're starting off pretty strong there. No hello, my name is, no topic sentence. You're just gonna jump right into the tea nobody asked for.
The man with whom I had had the affair, Matt, who is also an OBGYN, was set to perform the delivery all at my wife's request. And on that day at 10:20 p.m., Ella Grace was born. I cut the umbilical cord, and an entire new chapter that would forever change each of our lives officially began.
This guy would make a great Uber driver. Dude, I'm so confused. You can't just tell us that kind of story and not elaborate. How are you gonna overshare and undershare at the same time? Okay, so let me get this straight. Well, let me get this. You cheat on your wife with another dude, and then she asks that guy to deliver your guys' baby. And then you tell 9.8 million souls on the internet about it. First of all, Jason, you couldn't just be a normal gay dude and not date a woman? I mean, you committed to the role of a straight dude so hard you even finished inside your wife. Unless, of course, she stole your and then put it inside of her and then wrote it in her journal. Wait, it's too early for that joke. You guys will get that reference later. Second of all, Jason, props to your wife. She's a better person than me, cause that's crazy she had the guy her husband cheated on her with do the delivery. I'd make him do the abortion. Dude, it's so weird how involved this Matt guy ended up being with Jason's family. Like, this guy has seen this whole family's genitals. Not even this family's private parts are private. And the way Jason talks about his affair makes it seem like the best thing he ever did was cheat on his wife.
About 2.5 months after Matt delivered Ella at my ex-wife's request, the four of us, along with my mom, my grandma, and my mom's best friend, were off to Spain.
Really? After everything that happened, you guys just go on a family trip with grandma? How did this story start like a Euphoria episode but end like a Hallmark movie? Now, I'm not trying to hate on their happiness, because I guess everybody holding hands and singing Kumbaya is what's best for the daughter. But I'm just saying, the vibes are still a little off. Like, Matt here has a pretty wild relation to the daughter. How did Jason even introduce him to her?
Ella, this is your Uncle Matt. Oh, nice to meet you, Uncle Matt. He's your stepdad. What? I cheated on your mom with him when she was pregnant with you. Wait, Dad, slow down. And he delivered you when you were born. He's the reason we both came out.
Also, what are you doing in Soho, London? Ha! Soho. That's a funny name, isn't it, Jason? That sounds like a strip club you'd pretend to be straight at. But yeah, what are you doing all the way in London? I mean, I'm hoping that's your house, because it'd be pretty weird to film this kind of video in somebody else's home. Like, that better be Matt behind that camera, not your innocent grandpa you're visiting for the holidays.
Approximately 5 months after I admitted to my wife that I had had an affair with another man and that I am gay, the time for the birth of our daughter was finally here. The man with whom I had had the affair, Matt.
Come on, Jason, you were a closeted gay man for years, I'm assuming. I'm sure you know a little thing called privacy. And did you really have to cheat on your wife when she was pregnant? That's like the worst time you could possibly do that. You couldn't wait and just get a hot dog? Now, this affair happened 23 years ago, but for some reason, this guy is still talking about it non-stop.
On the night of September 7, 2003, I sat on the couch with my then wife and shared with her 3 things. I had had an affair, it was with another man, and I am gay. A mere 18 hours after coming out to my ex-wife and revealing to her that I had had an affair, about 1 year and 8 months after coming out to my wife, Matt and I purchased our first home together.
He's starting at different points in time in each video, but it's still the same story. Like, we get it, Jason. You can move on now. You're milking this story like it's Matt's dick. The story is worth maybe 1 Oprah episode. It's not something you should be building your entire internet personality around. I also noticed that Jason's name is Jason W. Miller, but his daughter's name is Ella Grace. Like, where did she get her last name from? Matt? Guys, the moral of the story here with Jason is, if you're gonna be gay, be gay. Oh, that reminds me, happy Pride Month, everyone. In honor of the season, I'll only be criticizing straight people for the rest of this video. See? I'm an ally. Okay, let's continue.
We listen and we don't judge. We were dating and I checked your location and you said you were home and I wasn't quite sure if that was true, so I decided to go follow your location and I stayed at your house until I saw you in your room to confirm that you were at home and had no plans.
Oh my god. By any chance, did the boyfriend happen to make a wish recently? Great movie, by the way. Did you know that Bear's the villain? Dude, this isn't even oversharing. This is confessing. Come on, lady, you already had his location. You didn't have to go and stalk the dude. Ladies, don't do this to your man. It just makes it way harder and way more stressful to cheat on you. So what happens now? This guy is just supposed to act all normal and go about his day like she didn't just say what she said? I relate to the guy, because my girlfriend once thought I was cheating on her with my coworker, and when I found out she would follow me on my way to work, I knew it was time to break up with my coworker. Nah, in all seriousness, I don't want to judge her too much. As we've seen before, men can have some pretty wild secrets, like the guy in this next clip.
I talk about the difference between a 6 p.m. friend and a 3 a.m. friend. So there are guys that you can call or text until about 6 p.m. and they're available until about 6, and after that, oh, I'm just too busy. Then there's the guys that at 3 a.m., you're calling them. Not only do you know that they're going to answer, but you're going to hear in the background them getting on their pants, clicking their pistol in the appendix position, and grabbing a shovel because they assume that we're burying a body.
You know what, guys? He's right. That's the kind of friend you'll be friends with for life in prison. I thought you were gonna say something like, if you call a 3 a.m. friend, they'll be happy to talk to you or pick you up or give you a hand job. And who is this guy even talking to that he's so comfortable admitting crimes in front of?
They assume that we're burying a body, right? That's just what they assume, and they're down to help you. Most men have 0 of these guys.
What's funny is that this guy and his friend might have actually gone through all that work to bury a body just for him to snitch on himself on a podcast. Okay, in all seriousness, the guy was probably just using a metaphor for friendship. I hope. Either way, texting your guy friend in the middle of the night to see if he's up sounds pretty gay, which is fine. You know, just don't marry a woman and get her pregnant. Speaking of getting pregnant...
Deontay, you've got 7 children, like you said. Yeah, man. One is your daughter, Naia.
I chose to keep her. Her mother didn't. Her mother tried to set me up to have the baby. You know, she ejected my in her and ran in the bathroom and locked the door. And that's how we had her.
Really?
Nice, dude. Nice. You know who I know will love this clip? Your kids. All 7 of them. Bro, no human soul should know the details of how they got conceived. Humans are like chicken nuggets. You don't want to know how they got made, you just know that they taste good. Even the security guard in the background is listening in on this. You know how crazy your story has to be for a security guard to be side-eyeing you? Their whole job is just keeping a straight face. And I don't know what's weirder, this guy's story or Piers' reaction to it.
She ejected my in her and ran in the bathroom and locked the door. And that's how we had her.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Piers, that's not the right reaction to the thing you just heard. Is this every British person's reaction to crazy
I shoved a hot dog up my and put it right back in the fridge.
Really?
She ejected my in her and ran in the bathroom and locked the door. And that's how we had her. She don't even know I know this.
How do you know that?
I'm smart. I only found out this thing by reading her journal. She didn't know that I read her journal either.
That's it? That was your genius way of discovering this secret? You just read her journal that she just luckily happened to have? Great detective work there, Dreadlock Holmes. This just reeks of bull. This sounds like the plot for Tyler Perry's next movie. Not because this guy's black, just because... It's because he's black. I don't know how true any of this is, but it's just funny to think that the woman wrote that in her journal. Like stealing another dude's is something she might forget.
When I used to her stomach, I used to fold my towel nicely by the bed because I would want to wipe it off of her stomach. I did what I do. I had a good nut and I on her stomach.
Imagine if people spoke at their own funeral. He said that like we were supposed to gasp afterwards.
I had a good nut and I on her stomach.
You pulled out? You? The guy with 7 kids? It's also funny how he shakes his head when he says that.
I had a good and I on her stomach.
Bro turned Indian there for a second. And look at the face on Piers.
And I on her stomach. This time I went and got the towel and tried to wipe it off, and she hit my hand so hard.
He looks concerned for his safety.
I've done so much. I'd have been in so many fights. I don't even want to bring it up.
Oh, phew. For a second there, I thought you were about to share something you weren't supposed to. Dude, this guy is literally fighting himself in real time to not overshare.
I'd have been in so many fights.
Now, 3 minutes into Deontay going on random tangents, he starts talking about the devil.
I was raised on a good family, but that don't mean that the devil is not here to intervene upon your father's prayers, upon your mother's prayers or your grandma's prayers, because the devil is listening too.
Is he now? I can only imagine the look on his face.
I had a good nut and I on her stomach.
Now, you might think that talking about yourself can't get any wilder than this. I mean, this guy's last name is literally Wilder, but I think even Deontay would be weirded out by this next guy's story.
I met a girl who's a streamer. I went up to her, I hugged her, and I my pants.
I'm sorry, come again? Wait, no, don't do that. Dude, you cannot be saying things like that, especially when this is your smile. Like, you look like a Batman villain. They'd call you the Jizzler. Okay, I don't want to on the guy too hard. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, just an awkward dude that doesn't realize how creepy he can come off. Like, as weird as it was, the problem isn't even what he did. The problem is that he's going around telling everyone about it.
One time when I met ST Peach, she gave me a hug. I met her the first time and I ended up my pants. I ended up leaving the convention, going back to my hotel room, changing my underwear.
Again, just by looking at you, I'm not surprised that happened. I'm surprised you're openly admitting to it. Some things can just stay private. Like, why are you over here recording yourself sleeping? Is this your idea of entertainment? Just watching people sleep?
Well, maybe, Sam, there's a bigger issue here at play. Maybe privacy to people like Dallas is just loneliness and isolation. And maybe oversharing is their way of alleviating it. Perhaps this phenomenon of oversharing on the internet has to do with the ever-growing loneliness epidemic, likely worsened by the same social media platforms people turn to for human connection. I think there's an honest discussion to be had where we both call out inappropriate behavior as seen in this clip over here, and at the same time show people like Dallas empathy, compassion, and understanding.
No. Samuel Says is about judging, making fun of, and roasting people. So, let's get back to that. When my son starts looking like his dad too much. You know what? We listen and we don't judge. We'll let the judge do that. Honestly, I don't feel like reacting to this too much because this TikTok is just a little too weird. So I'm gonna just move on and leave the clip in the video in case someone in the future needs it as evidence. On to the next clip.
15 when I had a baby. I gave that baby up for adoption. 25 years later, I ended up dating that baby, not knowing he was my son. Fast forward, when I confronted him about it, when I told him about it, he told me he didn't do.
So your son dated you knowing you were his mother? So you better ground him for this. Imagine if he never told her. He might have actually been able to have a brother son. So after all these years, this is the kind of man your son grew up to be? Who did you let adopt your child? This lady? The video ends there, so we don't know what happens. Like, did they stay together or did she leave him again? Also, as a white person, it disgusts me seeing black people do That's our culture! Now, could the people in all these clips just be lying for attention? Maybe. But the only video we know for sure is fake is this one. The video was actually a sketch, and this chef is actually a comedian. His name is Henry Phillips. The guy's hilarious, and I recommend watching the whole thing. But I'm gonna end the video there, guys, because I gotta run. I have an appointment with my doctor. He's gotta take a look at my hemorrhoids. What? We listen and we don't judge.